Hi everybody, what's going on? Welcome to Tuesday Talk. Now today is part 2 of my dating and marriage series. And so last week we talked about how to date properly. This week we're going to talk about how to snag a husband or a wife or a spouse. And so just like I was discussing last week, I think the biggest, most important thing that you have to do is that you have to set guidelines and boundaries for yourself. Now, once you have met someone that you really like, and those feelings are starting to progress into strong likeness, and once you get out of strong likeness, he told you that he loves you, you told him that you love him, and it just seems just oh so perfect. How do you get to that point where you're in love to proposal and marriage? And I'll just simply tell you, you have to discuss it. You know, my husband and I didn't have a traditional type he got on one knee and proposed and all of that. It wasn't like that. When I met my husband, online. He found me. I didn't find him. I was kind of over the whole thing, and I was like, bump it, you know. I hadn't checked my, I was on this online website, and I hadn't checked it for about a week. And I finally checked it, and I kept getting the same, I got like 4 messages from the same guy. And he was like, I'm trying to contact you, you're never on here, give me a call. And I was like, okay, I saw a picture, I thought he was cute. And I called him, and we talked for like a couple of weeks on the phone. And then we decided to meet. I met him in the parking lot of BJ's. Nice at night. And then once we met and we talked, he asked if he could take me to dinner, and we were in a shopping center, so there were like restaurants everywhere, and we went to this little mom and pop type Italian restaurant. It was so romantic, so nice, and after that night we were together forever. And actually that night while we were sitting at the table, he told me just completely straight out, he was like, listen, I'm looking for a wife. I want a wife, I want to be married, and I was wondering if I could, date you, in the hopes of one day marrying you one day. I don't want, I'm tired of the dating scene. I'm just tired of, I'm just tired of dating. I want to be with somebody, I want to get to know somebody that I could possibly marry. If that's something that you're into, then cool. If it's not, then this will be our last date. He made it clear from Jump Street what he wanted. And so I didn't date him. I didn't start dating him casually. I dated him as courting, and a lot of people have opinions about courting, but that's pretty much what it was, because we went into it on the first date deciding that we were working towards getting married. It wasn't like we were dating just to be dating, And so 5 months after we met, we got married. That is not ideal. Don't get, that was quick, but it don't happen that fast for everybody. And so, I would never tell you anything that's completely unrealistic. Because, yeah, you may meet somebody that you just completely, you find your soulmate, and y'all can do it that quick and be fine, My parents got married in 6 months, and they've been married for 36 years. So it don't happen for everybody, but that's just how our situation was. After about a month of dating, we started looking for rings, and we got engaged, and we just went on from there, but, well, I'm sorry, I'm so tired. Once you're in a relationship, and you guys have been in an established relationship, it can't be nothing in your mind now. I mean, we're talking about you met his family, he's met your family, your friends aren't aware of him. You guys are Facebook official, social media official, which means that your picture and his picture together are in the profile. You know, he's listed as in a relationship. Like, all of that stuff is important because we can't be doing no secret lover type stuff. Like, come on, man. That was back in the days. No secret lovers. If he can't tell the world, so to speak, about your existence, then don't bother. You know. And so, but once you guys have established your relationship being public, then, you know, you discuss things every now and then. I mean, you get to that point where you say, well, like, what is your goal for this relationship? Like, where do you see us going? You know, and in your mind, you have to be, this part is kind of delicate because a lot of people don't, you have to kind of be careful about your approach because you never want to pressure anybody into marriage. That's the worst thing you can do. You never want to pressure anybody into doing something that they may feel uncomfortable. A lot of times people just want it to be like a natural progression, a natural flow, you know, but there's nothing wrong with discussing your desires. But you don't give folks an ultimatum. You don't, you know, try to pressure them and say, like, listen, you need to marry me right now. Right now. You know, you don't do that because then you're going to end up sitting there by yourself because that person's going to be like, pew, out the door. So what you do is just every now and then, I mean, especially when you guys, when you see yourself serious, you know, you ask him or her, you know, like, where do you see this relationship going? Do you need to find out if they want to be married? Because a lot of people, they really do not want to be married. And that is okay. But if you want to be married, you need to find that out so that you're not sitting there like wasting 2 or 3 years of your life with somebody who has no desire to be married. So you need to find out first if they have a desire to be married. And if they do, you know, you can just generally ask, like, how can we as a couple work towards that goal? You know, not putting any time frame, no pressure, but what can we do as a couple to work towards that goal, to becoming married, you know? And you ask those questions, you know. Also, you know, once you guys get yourself in order, you know, you date, but make sure that you're progressing in your personal life as well. Finish school, you know, get a better job. You know, do those things because everybody's not going to come into a relationship with pockets of money. I married 110% for love. My husband made very, very, very little money, and I did not want to judge him on his finances because I saw the potential in him. He did have goals. He did have dreams. You know, and a lot of times people just need to be surrounded by influence, you know, because now that I'm about to graduate from college, my husband is like, well, as soon as you're done, I'm going to get my certification, you know, I'm going to get my trade license in X, Y, and Z, or whatever. And so, you know, a lot of times it just takes being in the right company, you know, to get him or her to be motivated to do something better. Like, if you see him in a messed up job, you can help him write his resume, you know, if you're good at that sort of thing, or help her with her appearance, you know, for job interviews, you know, because all of that, it benefits you in the long run, you know, because when you get engaged, if you don't really have family with money or family that can help you out with the wedding, it's all going to be on you financially. So you want to be able to be prepared to have a wedding, or, you know, have a nice little get-together where you can publicly, you know, bring your vows together and become married. And so that's pretty much it. It's not no big super secret, you know. Once you start dating a person, you know, every now and then, I'll say once a month, you guys sit down. Don't make it dramatic. Don't be like, well, we have to talk. We have to talk. You need, what are your intentions for this? Don't do that, because you will run him away. Don't do that. Do not do that. You gonna run the person away, you know. And then plus, when you're dating, don't say stuff like that on the first date. I want to be married. I want 5 kids. Because a lot of guys, when they hear a girl like just constantly like preoccupied with marriage and kids, pew, they haul tail because they're like, oh no, she's trying to lock me down, you know. Because some guys are like, you know, act like that, you know. She trying to lock me down already on the first date. She talking about marriage. No, you don't want to do that, you know. Let the relationship, enjoy the person's company, you know. Enjoy, because you know when you first get into a relationship, it's like honeymoon time, you know. If you know, are having sex, let's just be straight up. If you're not having sex, then that's something different. That's a personal thing, you know. I'm in no position to preach Bible to nobody, you know. But if you choose to have a relationship where you're not having sex until marriage, then you need to establish that and actually, you know, communicate that to that person. If you guys are having sex and enjoying each other or whatever, physically or whatever, then fine. You know, get the HIV status going though. Find out. Don't do nothing without that. But yeah, you know, don't go into a situation like being weird, because it will not come out well, you know. Be very casual, enjoy the person's company. Once you see 3 months pass by and then 4 months pass by, I'll say at the 6-month mark. At the 6-month mark, people are pretty much like completely into each other, you know. And so, you know, you just have that conversation and just say, well, where do you think our relationship is going? I mean, do you think, you know, you want to get married one day? Like, what do you think? Like, what is your goal for this relationship? And that's just pretty much how you put it. What is your goal for this relationship? If they say, I don't really see, you know, I just want to enjoy your time and enjoy your company, and if they honestly do not see a future with you, then you have a decision to make, because you do not want to waste your time. If marriage is your goal, if you want to be married, then that needs to be your goal. I don't care how good he is in the bed. I don't care how sweet he is, what stuff he does for you, how much things he buys for you, whatever. It does not matter. If that man does not want to commit to you, you can't change that. No matter how much you try, you cannot change nobody. You know, you need to make a decision whether or not you want to stay in this relationship or not. You know, and a lot of guys, that's like the wake-up call. Like, they'll be like, oh snap, I'm going to lose this great person forever. Like, you know, what can I do to keep you? And you need to let them know. You know, but then again, you have to make it clear, like, listen, I don't want to force you to do anything that you don't want to do. If you don't want to get married, I would rather you don't force it, because I'm not getting married to get a divorce. You know, who wants that? Who wants to get married and get a divorce? If you're really not ready, then that's fine. I have to move on with my life. I'm ready to get married. It's okay that you're not ready, but I am. You know? And you need to make that very, very, very clear. You know, you have to make that clear. And so that's just pretty much how you get a husband, honey. You know, you communicate with that person, you establish boundaries, establish goals for a relationship, and you move on from there. You know, if it's meant to be, it will be. If it is not, move on, sister, move on. I am a big, big, big just advocate for not wasting your time. I dated a guy off and on for 10 years when I was younger, and I was just like, we would always break up, lose touch, and for whatever reason, he would always come back. Sorry y'all, my camera died. I wanted to make this real quick. What I was saying before, that before I met my husband, I was dating this guy off and on for about 10 years, and I really wanted to marry him. I really, really wanted to marry him, but he just was not ready. He he wasn't ready. Number two, he was not a good boyfriend. He was a nurse at a mental institution, and he was a bouncer at a strip club, at one of the largest strip clubs in Miami, at nighttime. So he worked two jobs. He had a daughter, and none of that was the issue. The strip club where he worked was the biggest issue, because I found out that he was, there when he wasn't working either. And so it was a lot of stuff, that was going on. Him lying to me, and he wasn't a good boyfriend, but I had a lot of love for him, and he just kept saying, "Oh, be patient, oh, be patient." And I was like, listen, I want to get married and have kids. And at the time, I was like 29, and I was just so over it. And I think one day we were supposed to go out, and he never showed up. And then he called me like 6 hours later, and I was just like, I didn't even know. I was just so mad. I didn't even know what I was going to do, what I was going to say. And I was just like, you know what? I'm done. I want to get married. I want to have kids. You're clearly not on that path. And so I'm done. I'm over it. I'm done. I was over it. Like, standing me up and all that, I was over with that crap. And so I broke up with him, and exactly 4 months later, I met my husband, and we got married in May of 2012. And so, you have to set rules within yourself as to how long you're going to deal with a person, where your relationship is going. If it's a good one, if it's a great one, then communicate with that person and find out what their desires are and what your desires are. And if they match, then you can definitely move forward, and you may get a proposal soon. If they're not, and if time is going by, because I was never into being in relationships for years and years and years and years, or being engaged for years and years and years and years, and, oh, you're not ready to get married, but I'm having all these kids for you. No, that's stupid. So if you really, really want to get married, you need to put your mind set towards that and work towards that, and you will be. You definitely will be. Because nowadays nothing is going to drop out of the sky. You have to make it happen for yourself, but within reason. Just like I mentioned before, within reason. You don't threaten anybody. You don't give ultimatums, because that's the quickest way for you to end up by yourself. So if you have any questions, comments, leave them down below, and I will talk to you guys next time. Bye.